set up rapidly around the country to cope with this unprecedented number of deaths. But it has become a particular struggle for Muslims, who must carry out burials within the required 24 hours. Many elders who would normally carry out the Islamic funeral rituals are having to self-isolate. Our Home Affairs correspondent Darshna Soni has been out with a team of young volunteers in Leicester, where deaths in the Muslim community have more than doubled in just the past month.
This is not how they'd want to prepare for a funeral. But COVID-19 has changed the rituals of death. Ahmed Kasu normally works for BT, planning their network. Now he's planning dozens of funerals every week.
We need to protect ourselves, and there is a very slight chance of infection from a deceased, but they're also carrying out the rites of the deceased.
And trying to honour the rites of the deceased includes the ghusl, or ritual washing of the body. It's usually done by close family members and elders from the mosque. Now it's down to Mr. Kasu and his team of volunteers.
For that to happen where a family member, because they've been in contact with the deceased, and because they're unable, and with Muslim funerals, because they take place literally immediately, they're unable to attend. That is the very difficult part and side of this, all of this.
That must be heartbreaking.
It is, to tell somebody that you're unable to come here and see the deceased in their last moments. That is the hardest part.
The hardest part for family and friends who can only look on. Today they are burying 54-year-old Farouk Bahadu, a civil servant whose wife, a nurse, and 2 sons are self-isolating. The family are being represented by Mr. Bahadu's best friend.
I've known him for 42 years. This is actually our playground. This is where we grew up, and he was an amazing character.
What does the work of the volunteers here mean to you at this time?
It means everything to me, to know that he is being buried in the Islamic way.
The team have helped with 30 funerals in the last 2 weeks alone. Mr. Kasu believes the death rate is far higher than is being officially recorded.
There were no deaths in university hospitals of Leicester in the last 3 days, but there are people who have died at home. There are people who have died due to COVID in care homes. It's just that in the hospitals there's been no death. There's definitely more deaths than what we're probably hearing about.
We have to realise our ikhlas to each other and also the deceased.
After appealing for help, 250 volunteers came forward. Mr. Kasu has arranged for a local imam to train them online in how to carry out the correct prayers and Quranic readings at the cemetery.
Allahu Akbar.
One of those volunteers is 22-year-old engineering student Mohammed Jamal, whose university is closed.
I thought the best way to use that free time is get involved in things like this. It's nice to give back to the community. It makes you more grateful for what you have.
In normal times, Islamic funerals should be carried out as quickly as possible to speed the soul's journey to its next destination. But some families are having to wait up to 2 weeks.
Very difficult, This funeral on a normal day outside of COVID, there would have probably been 300 to 400 people here.
But with strict limits on numbers, Mr. Kasu and his team of remarkable volunteers know they have a huge responsibility.
So for me, it's spiritually very good. The time that we're living in is going to be written in history. And I don't think my name's going to be anywhere up there, but it's something that I will remember it by, participating in something that is bringing the community together.
He may see it as a small contribution, but it's one that means so much for families having to find new ways of saying goodbye to their loved ones. Darshna Soni, Channel 4 News, Leicester.